What's up, y'all? It's Chief Ola back at it with another lesson. Before I start my lesson, like always, I'd like to send peace, positive energy, cosmic love onto the beautiful, sexy, lovely goddesses out there. Peace to y'all. I would also like some peace and positive energy onto the gods. I would also like some peace and positive energy onto the beings that are not made the way I made, but can still reflect something that's within me and that are for good out here. So I like some peace to you. I would also like some peace and positive energy uh, most importantly onto the ancestors and Big Mama, what we call Big Mama, I always send peace onto her, as she is the head matriarch and head ruler of our planet. So I would like some peace, love, and respect onto her. I would also like some peace and positive energy onto lost souls and souls that are unaware of who they are right now. I would like some peace and positive energy onto you. Um, I would like some peace to the cosmos, to the righteous beings in the cosmos. And I would like to send peace and positive energy onto the planet and say Ashe as I start this lesson. Okay, so lesson for today from from Mama is about teaching these children, right? Mama told me today uh, that we need to start teaching these children. Now, I had made a post last night because she needed me to make a post about change, and she needed me to add in the children. Now, I've said this before, and others have told you too. We have to teach these kids, right? They getting ready for this back to school. We shouldn't be sending our kids back to no motherfucking school. And the reason for that is because these teachers ain't really teaching your babies anything. And most of these teachers is pedophiles. Right, so you sending your kid off to school to be taught by a motherfucker that's really molesting your motherfucking kid. Not all of them, but most of them is. You need to be teaching your kids yourself. But what makes it hard is that these grown motherfuckers don't want to learn shit, don't want to know nothing about themselves, so they child damn they have no choice but to go to school to get, to get educated, to get some education. Right, so they have no choice. Right? And it makes it bad because they got some fucked up parents that don't want to do nothing. Right? And then they think they parenting by sending their kid to school to get an education, but you ain't parenting. A real parent gonna teach their child. You know more about your child than a teacher knows. You know more about your child. You wiped your baby ass. You fed your baby every day. So you know more about your child than any other person. Right? So what the fuck you look like sending your child to another motherfucker to be taught? You look crazy. You gotta teach your own child. These babies don't deserve to be misguided by their parents and by these adults out here. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve it. And they never did deserve it. Every child, every baby need to have a figure in their life so they can grow up and be a child the way they supposed to be. I said this shit before. All this little bitch ass shit these niggas be screaming out here in the streets talk about a square. What the fuck is a square? I said that, but what the fuck is a square? You call a motherfucker a square because he got too much life in him. Then your goofy ass on the other side looking dead to the motherfucker. You damn near can't even look a man in the eye. You trying to prove yourself as a man, but you ain't proving shit to nobody because the niggas you trying to prove yourself to don't give a fuck about your stupid ass, nigga. So what the fuck is you doing? You ain't doing shit. Oh, I ain't no square. I'm a nigga. You a goofy. You a goofy motherfucker. You ain't nobody special, nigga. You just like any other motherfucker out here that's hurting their people, hurting their communities, and making it hard for these children to grow up and be kids. That's all you doing. You just making it more harder, and then making the motherfuckers out here that's really teaching the people making their job more harder. Cause while they looking at these false figures like they doing something that's right, we gotta correct them and tell them that them ain't your figures, them ain't your people, right? So you making it hard for these babies to grow up and be kids because you ain't trying to be what they call a square. Ain't no such thing as no square, nigga. You either a man or you a bitch. That's it. You either a man or you a pussy bitch ass nigga. That's it. That's either one of the two. You make your motherfucking choice. That's it. You either somebody or you a nobody. Or anybody. Anybody is a motherfucker that tries to prove herself. That's an anybody. You trying to prove yourself to other people? You're anybody. Them motherfuckers ain't your God. They don't even really know you like that. Why the fuck you trying to prove yourself to them? You anybody. That's anybody shit. Only anybody motherfucker do that. You ain't no man, you ain't no person. I don't go fuck how you feel about that, nigga. It is what it is. You supposed to be teaching these children how to be children. We need to be getting these children to know other children in their neighborhoods, getting these babies all in tune with each other. Most of these kids nowadays don't even be knowing the other kids in their neighborhood. Because why? Because they motherfucking parents keeping them in the house. Oh, it's too hot outside. That heat don't fuck with them kids. You should want them kids outside in the sun, because then your kids be getting information to come back inside to tell your stupid ass something. But no, you don't want to do that. Just because you can't stand being outside, you gonna make your kid be the same way. No, don't make it the same for your kid. They don't do that 'cause that's unfair to the child. That ain't right. We the leaders, we the ones that gotta teach these babies, period. We the ones. That's why we here. We're here to claim our right back to the land and teach these children. Because after we take the land back completely, all the attention is gonna be turned towards the kids. Cause now we got that responsibility in educating them. We have that responsibility now, but after we take this shit back completely, that's gonna be the biggest responsibility we gonna have to take. Right? I feel bad for these kids. I feel bad that they have these fucked up figures out here to make them think they have to be a certain way to fit in society. Because it ain't the way they need to be. A lot of these kids a lot of these kids is gonna grow up and believe that they need to hurt their own people. They need to dress a certain way. They need to be a certain way to be considered a person, a regular human being, and that's not the right way. Cause mama, what she want is she want all of her kids to be right. She want all her kids to be righteous. She want them doing right, and she want them in tune. If we not right or in tune, then she got a problem. To where she gonna have to send a motherfucker in that got they shit straight, got they shit together to remind us all of and what the fuck we need to do. Cause there ain't too many motherfuckers out here that got their shit together mentally to where they know right from wrong and how they can pass that down to our kids. It ain't too many motherfuckers like that. That's why that's why I don't know why motherfuckers be listening to all these so-called rappers and shit like they figures. A lot of them motherfuckers ain't figures. They ain't never did nothing for our people. Right? Them motherfuckers ain't really trying to teach these kids a better way. They promoting the same bullshit. It shouldn't take you 30, 34, 35 years to know that these kids need a better message to carry them on there. It shouldn't take you that many years to realize that we all know that these kids need a better way. These kids need to be led the right way. We all know that. It shouldn't take you years as a man to know that, or as a lady to know that. You should already know what's going on. So we get on these songs and we promoting all this dumb shit in it. Ooh, all that's doing is telling these little kids that that's how they need to be. That's all you doing. And you make yourself look stupid than a motherfucker. Because you got all this fame and you got all this attention and you have a platform, but you don't even know how to use it. That's all you doing. Instead of teaching these kids the right way, you teaching them the wrong way. Right? Because all you doing is telling these kids, go out get some money, go out get some money, you gonna be alright, go out get some money. You telling them to go out get some money, but you ain't telling them to find happiness and peace within themselves. Though you still not a teacher. You still ain't leading these kids the right way. Cause these little kids gonna grow up, get some money, then still be fucked up mentally because that's not solving the problem within them. Right? And they gonna have to figure that shit out the hard way. And they gonna remember to when you told them that that's what they needed for happiness. But then they gonna have to realize that that wasn't a true happiness. All right, but had you told them what to really do, that could help them carry on. If you tell them the right way. But motherfuckers don't want to tell these kids the right way because they don't give a fuck about these kids. Niggas will never tell you publicly, but a lot of motherfuckers out here don't give a fuck about these kids. They don't care about them. They don't want to see these kids do better. They want to see them all fucked up and hurting each other. Because that's what's in right now. Being a killer, being a nigga that kill people, gangbang, that's the thing that's in. That's what's in. That's the new shit. That's hard today. You kill a motherfucker, you got you a body up under you, nigga, you hard. Right? You ain't no square, all that little bitch ass shit. You ain't no square, you ain't no weak motherfucker, you cause you got a body on you. Alright, nigga, you got a body, but nigga, what else you got? You ain't got shit. You ain't got shit else. You ain't got nothing to fall back on. You just got a body. Ain't got shit else to fall back on. You talk about how many bodies you got, but ain't talking about how many bodies you could have saved, though. You could have saved a lot of bodies more than taking away a lot of bodies. Because these kids is listening to everything you saying. It's a 13-year-old boy right now that believe in his mind that he need to go kill a motherfucker to be considered a man. Right now. He's sitting in his room, or he probably around his friends talk about how you want to go get rid of a motherfucker because he heard a goofy motherfucker in a song talking about how they got all these bodies. That's what he's thinking right now. You got these young ladies, 13, 12, thinking they need to have a fake ass and shit, lace fronts, nails done, makeup and all that shit to be a woman. Right? Feel like they need to grow up and use a man for all his wealth. rather than working with the man and building something together. This is what's going on. But this is all caused by what motherfuckers out here teaching. Right? Because the real teachers, like I've said before, they took them away. They took away our real teachers. And they still taking away a lot today. Why is that? Because they don't want these kids to know the truth. They don't want these babies hearing the truth. They don't want these babies to be led the right way. They want these babies to be fed lies. So they don't know how to cope through this life shit. I don't want my nieces and nephews and shit feeling like they need to get a job and all that old shit, go to college so they could be somebody. You already somebody. You don't have to be something you already are. You just have to realize who you are. But they put so much shit here to where you can't realize what you are. That's the thing about it. Right? And also, mama told me that you need to start listening to your child. Listen to your child because these kids know shit. They be knowing what they talking about. That's why I said by letting your kids stay outside in the sun, because the sun provides information. All right, the light energy, plasma radiation. The radiation from the sun can enter through the body, enter through the electrical body, or provide information, all that shit. So let your kids, teach you. Listen to your kids. You be thinking your babies don't know what the fuck they talk about. No, a lot of them know what they talking about. If you really listen to them, pay attention to what your kids is doing. Pay attention to how they moving around, certain shit they say. Because I be seeing, I be watching, certain things, and people be having, they babies, um, in their YouTube videos, and I be looking at them babies, and I be knowing they organic to the land, they old souls, just by how they carry themselves. But they parents don't even realize it. Right, so they baby is say something and they don't even pick up on what they saying. No, listen to what your kids are saying. They saying something. Your baby could teach you something that could change your life if you allow them to. Don't just think just because they kids they don't know nothing. That don't even exist. A lot of grown motherfuckers don't even be knowing what the fuck they talking about. So if a grown motherfucker don't know what they talking about, then who the fuck do know what they talking about? If a grown motherfucker don't, a kid, cause a kid don't got no agenda. A kid, a kid don't necessarily know what's wrong yet, but a kid know what's right. Being happy, being outside, playing amongst other kids, right? So you let your kid speak, your kid gonna tell you something, and I put money on that. Whether if it's your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, whatever baby you around, just watch them, absorb them, pay attention to what they doing. You like, damn, I didn't know. How you know about that? Damn, I didn't know. What you know what that is? It's gonna blow your motherfucking mind. But they gonna tell you, like, shit, I've been knowing that. I've been trying to tell you. You just wasn't listening to me because I'm a kid. Right? So, you know, we gotta teach them. They need to know what's real. They need to know what's right. Stop sending them to these schools. Teach them your damn self. You got real knowledge, then you got fake knowledge. So your kid, learning about all this shit or all these presidents, all these holidays, all these, war stories, but don't even realize that that's the enemy that came over here, right? So your baby is being taught by the enemy and you don't even realize it, right? So when you start noticing your baby is not paying attention to what they trying to teach them, you get an attitude. No, your baby is rejecting the information because your baby know that information ain't right. That's where your child is rejecting it, right? But you thinking you parenting, you thinking no, no, you trying to run away from education. You trying to, oh, you being ignorant. No, your child is rejecting that shit. Your child is rejecting it because your child knows it's not right. That be the real reason why these kids don't be listening to these teachers because they know they teachers is full of shit. And they know 90% of that shit they teaching is all false. Right? Because I already made a video before last year talking about how a lot of shit in them schools be false shit. I made a couple videos on that, right? Even at the HBCUs, historically black college university, they teach the same bullshit too. Cause a lot of motherfuckers they talk about that so called art people, them motherfuckers wasn't even real. Who the fuck is Frederick Douglass? Who the fuck is he? He ain't no motherfucking people. Why the fuck will we fight? Why the fuck will we fight with the people that we was fighting against? Them motherfuckers tried to come over here and take our land. So why the fuck will we fight with the motherfuckers that tried to take our land? That don't even fucking make sense. But niggas don't even know that. They should know that. But no, you ain't gonna tell these kids that because you don't want them to know real shit. And the motherfuckers that was coming over here was the dirty Moors, the motherfuckers that was looking like us, but they wasn't us. So why the fuck we gonna fight on the side of the enemy? It don't make sense. Cause I was told that these motherfuckers came over here skipping across the land. Mocking the kings on the land. They came over here skipping. Right? But a lot of motherfuckers don't even know that. So these kids, these babies, they need figures. You know, they need somebody to teach them. They need somebody to let them understand what's right and what's wrong. Because I also had explained before, allowing your child to expand their imagination. A lot of parents these days don't allow their child to expand their imagination because they think their child don't know how to handle their imagination, right? Or do right with their imagination. So they be like, nah, I ain't about to let you do that. Nah, don't do that. Nah, don't do that. Nah. No, let your child do what they want to do. That's the only way your child gonna learn how to be somebody is by allowing them to expand their imagination. If you don't allow them to expand their imagination, they ain't gonna know how to be creative. They just gonna be some 9 to 5 working motherfuckers. And you ain't gonna see nothing wrong with it because you gonna think that's just the way of life. But the whole time, if you would have allowed them to expand their imagination, they could create something that could change the whole world. Could have changed you. could change a lot of things. Right? Your child like playing in the dirt. Your child like playing with worms and shit. Let your child play with worms. Right? Get you a little box and shit. You know, let it put the worms in the box and let her go ahead and get out. Anybody they just gonna be worming around your whole crib, get a box, put them in the box. Your child like playing with the worms, let your child play with the worms. She wanna bring them in the house or he wanna bring them around, let them bring them in the house. Put something in there where they won't just be worming around and you good. But you are no, you ain't allowing your child to be free. You ain't allowing your child to expand their imagination, be creative, use their mind. Let your child use their mind. Allow your child to grow up and be somebody, rather than just want your child just to be like everybody else. Right? Because it's rare. I say it's rare in our community, right, to where we allow our kids to expand their minds. You know, it's rare for us, right? We always be having stories about how our mama always told us what not to do, but we never have stories of what our mama told us to do, you know, or what our mama allowed us to do. We don't never really have we never really have stories like that, right? Then we start to believe that that's a normal way of being who we is. No, that ain't the normal way because anciently we wasn't like that. We wouldn't put our kids on the limit of being the way they want to be. We'll let our kids be the way they want to be because that's how they gonna grow. How you gonna grow into being somebody on the land if we don't allow you to grow? We have to allow you to grow. You're gonna have to make mistakes. Because if you don't make mistakes, you ain't gonna know how to do anything good. Right? So for instance, we on the land and we teaching our kids to learn how to master their own energy, master their telepathy, master themselves. If they do something right wrong, we ain't gonna, oh, you this, you bad. No, we gonna, hey, you all right. Try again. You gonna get better at it. You gonna keep messing up, but you ain't gonna mess up forever. You know, you just learning. But this is good though. You messing up and you feel some type of way about it. That's good. But just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. You gonna get better at it. That's how you do it. That's how we was anciently. We was letting our kids do what they had to do to develop themselves. That's why you able to come back here now and do what you doing on the land because your parents allowed you to develop. That's how that works. So motherfuckers be like, man, my past life I did all this shit, I did this, I did that. But how was you able to do that? Because your parents allowed you to activate yourself. Your parents allowed you to go deep within yourself to find your true power. That's what your parents did. So that's how you was able to have all those uh past life errors that you had. This is why a chief on the land knows how to lead the people because he was taught how to be a chief. Because, like I explained before, the way you become a chief on the land is by mastering all the arts. You have to master the arts of ascension. Right? You have to know how to speak. You have to know everything about who you are to be able to become a chief on the land. You have to be in tune with your feminine side. You have to be honored and respected. You have to honor and respect others. You have to be able to have made mistakes and got better at them. That's how you become a chief on the land. That's how it works. And then the name that you given is the name you go off of. That name that you given represents your energy and who you are as a chief on the land. That's how it works. That's how it works, though. So look, see, I just gave motherfuckers some game shit. I can go ahead and end my shit right now. I just gave you some game like a motherfucker. You see how I did that, nigga? I got spiritual than a motherfucker with my shit. I lost some motherfuckers, but that's how it worked though. I lost some motherfuckers, but it's with the real gonna understand. The real motherfucker gonna understand what I'm saying. But that's how it is. Teach your children, let your kids be what the fuck they wanna be. Don't put no limits on your child. That's why when you was young, that's why when your ass was young, when your parent tried to give you all these restrictions, that's why your ass used to get mad. Like, man, fuck them. Nigga, as soon as your ass turned 15, 13, nigga, you what? Nigga, you leaving like a motherfucker. You running, running out the house, all type of shit, going to be with your friends and shit. That's why you did that shit, because they was putting you on those restrictions. Right? That's why you was doing that, because something in us knows that restrictions is not right. Everything from the cosmos to the physical realm, everything is free will. You have the will to do anything you want. Now, if you do something bad, then nigga, you deal with the consequences. But you still have free will. You free to think the way you want to think. You free to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Free will. You can't put restrictions on anybody. This is why they gave you a court system, judges. This is why they gave you police officers. They give you restrictions. So you can't do what you want to do. This is why they gave you a school, so they can teach you how to be restrictive. That's why they gave you all that shit. But motherfuckers don't even know how to put all that shit together because motherfuckers ain't in tune. That's how I do. So you working at a 9 to 5, you feel me? Motherfucker working at a 9 to 5, you doing normal everyday shit. That's how you was taught to be. You was taught to be restrictive. You restrictive against knowledge and understanding of who you are. That's what it is. So that's why me, when I was a shorty, I'm listening to motherfuckers talk about going to college. I'm listening to motherfuckers talk about their job and all that shit. I'm like, man, I don't want to do that shit. And I'm a shorty. I'm like, man, I don't want to do that shit. That shit sound goofy, motherfucker. Ooh, I don't want to do that shit. This shit didn't sound right. I don't want to be like other motherfuckers. I stand out. You feel me? Motherfucker don't want to be like everybody else. That shit wasn't hitting me. And now I know why that shit wasn't hitting. Because that shit wasn't planned out for me. It ain't planned out for nobody. It ain't planned out for nobody to be a motherfucking slave. That shit ain't planned out for nobody. Originally, that ain't the plan. That ain't how this shit works. It's not planned out for a father to not want to teach his son how to be a man. That's not planned out. A father that don't want to teach his son how to be a man, that's not in our, I don't want to use culture, but that's not how we get down. That's not the shit that we do. You got these bitch ass niggas out here that claim to be fathers, but they ain't doing father like shit. Right? We could sit around and laugh about deadbeat fathers and all that shit. But let's get to the real definition of what that is. So you was a motherfucker that shot your paint into the mother's portal, right? And then when that motherfucker created a picture frame, you don't even want to look at that motherfucker. You don't even want to acknowledge what you did to create the painting. So what that make you as a man and as a person? That make you a bad artist. You bad all the way around, nigga. You bad all the way around. Then your son gonna grow up thinking he gotta be a certain way because he didn't get no guidance from his father. And then you sit your bitch ass at your crib or be riding through the neighborhood, seeing your son walking, you don't say nothing to him, right? Or then when you do get the balls enough, you do want to be a man enough to say something to him, and that nigga don't want to say nothing back to you, you get mad. Oh, nigga, you want to disrespect me? Nigga, I'm your father. Oh, how the fuck you gonna get mad at him because he don't want to talk to you? Nigga, you don't talk to him. You don't tell him shit. How the fuck am I gonna respect a man that never taught me how to be a man? I never seen this motherfucker do manly things. How the fuck I'm gonna respect that? That don't make sense. So a lot of these parents out here, a lot of these fathers, they have to check themselves and realize what they doing wrong. How you gonna be a mother and not teach your daughter how to be a woman, right? And then expect her to grow up and be a real woman, even though you responsible for what you do and the decisions you make, but most of your decisions have to be told to you by your parents so you can know which way to go and what way not to go. Right? So the mothers always want to call their daughters hoes and sluts and all that old shit because they daughters is not behaving the way that they want them to behave. Well, if you would have taught them the right way and showed them more love that they need to be shown, maybe they probably would have came out better. But since they ain't came out better, you want to talk bad about them, that ain't right. If you really have a talk with your daughter or your son and ask them what's really going on with them, they gonna tell you what's going on. They gonna tell you why they are acting the way they acting. They gonna tell you, right? Because most of that shit come from family trauma. Maybe the mother and the father was always into it. Maybe it was abuse involved. Maybe it was a lot of shit going on to why your kid is the way they is. It ain't just your kid just like that just because they like that. No, it all comes from inside the home. I've been saying that. That's where all that shit comes from. You the first teacher. The mother is the first teacher. Like Elijah Muhammad said, the mother is the first teacher. She is. She's the first teacher. The child first learned how to swim by being in the womb for 9 months. Most of the child's loving loving ways come from the mother. Charisma, you know, patience, all that comes from the mother. And his logic and his understanding comes from his father. Right? So um it has to be real parenting going on to raise these kids the right way. That's what it has to be. I don't even got kids yet, but I'm giving you information on how to be a parent. Now that's how you know something wrong. But I tell you what though, when that time come, cause I do want kids. When that time come, I'm already know what I gotta do. Cause I know who I am, so I know how to teach kids. I know what they need to hear, not just what they want to hear. Right? Cause your kids is paying attention to everything you doing. They paying attention to it. They watching what you doing, right? Your kids, they grow up and a lot of words they use and a lot of ways they carry themselves and how they talk, a lot of that shit came from what they seen you doing. They took all that from you, right? So that's when you know the massive role you play in your child life. Cause you play a role. You play a big role. The mother and the father. Most mothers and fathers don't want to start being parents until their child get grown, right? And the reason why they want to start being a parent is because they are ashamed and they feel bad for what they didn't do in their kid's life. It can get to the point to where your ass down there 25 and they still want to do shit for you. All that shit is out of guilt. That's what it is, it's guilt. They know they didn't do shit for you when you was a kid. They never did nothing. They wasn't there for you, and they feel bad. It finally hit them, right? Because that shit gonna hit you quick. Them off. You be like, damn, I ain't, damn, I didn't teach me. Yeah, I didn't teach me. It's gonna hit you. You gonna feel like the worst motherfucking person in the world. And then that's when they gonna be calling you. You need something. Ooh, they gonna be trying to give you anything they got because they feel ashamed. They feel bad. It's too late now though, motherfucker. Don't try to be a parent. Don't try to be a parent to a 25-year-old grown motherfucker, nigga. It's a wrap. Nigga, you didn't do what you was supposed to do. You failed. That's the one thing you can't change. It is what it is. You failed. You have another kid, you can start over again. But right now you failed. So your child been in and out of jail, right? In and out of jail doing what they doing. And you never told them nothing, but then you want to try to tell them something. That shit gonna go on one ear and not the other. I'm a grown motherfucker. I done shit. I'm a grown motherfucker. You can't tell me nothing. Not saying I'm supposed to be ignorant and ignore you and be like, get the fuck out of my face. You don't know what the fuck you talk about, bitch, or all that. But it's nothing you can tell me. I'm grown. All that shit you was supposed to tell me way back then. You missed your chance. It's a wrap now. You can't tell me nothing no more. I'm out here fucking. I'm doing all type of shit. I got about 6 bodies on me. I done shit. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing no more. I'm not gonna go off your word no more. Your word does not mean anything to me no more. That don't uh remain in my mind no more. That shit just out the door. And that's how it be. So we always want to blame the kids for why society is so corrupted. It ain't necessarily always the kids, it's the parents. Look at these parents. Gotta look at the parents. A lot of it is the parents' fault. I wouldn't even want to bring no kid into this world right now because shit fucked up. We gonna have to do that shit after we clean all this bullshit up. Clean up all these war conjure spells and all that shit. That's gonna have to be afterwards. Because right now, this world fucked up. Fucked up like a motherfucker. A kid can't even be a kid no more. If a kid wanna walk around laughing and smiling and playing, you gonna have an ignorant motherfucker that's gonna ask them why they laughing and smiling. They don't even want kids out here smiling and shit. You think there's a problem with that? So a kid can't even be a kid no more. It's just what it is. I'm just giving you a message. This is what I was told to tell you. Hell nah, I don't really give a fuck. It's just information. Pretty soon these pretty soon these schools ain't gonna even be up and running. Pretty soon a lot of these schools gonna close down pretty soon. Pretty soon. Shit. Motherfuckers ain't gonna be up and running no more. And right now already rising too high. It's being massive heat waves and shit. The sun getting hotter. Like the sun getting hot to the motherfucker like it was what 3 years ago. It's getting hot to the motherfucker because this shit is over with. That's why it's getting so damn hot. Right? You seeing a lot of shit going on and shit in Hollywood. A lot of motherfuckers in Hollywood is stepping down and shit from the Hollywood scene and shit. I seen some shit going on with Disney and all that. And Disney, uh, he talked about some shit. Disney going out of business, some shit. A lot of shit changing right now. You know, a lot of shit's changing. A lot of shit starting to hit the fan. A lot of shit getting real. This shit is over with. right? The fall of Babylon, what they were saying, this it. These is the end times. If you ain't got your shit together, then that's on you. But we've been telling you to prepare yourself since this shit kicked off. Ever since 2020 happened, ever since 2020 happened, shit been changing. Ever since then. Right? So now where we at and it's time. This the big cancel out. Cause what I'm starting to realize, from it being so hot outside, I'm starting to realize how a lot of motherfuckers is not from over here. I'm tapped in enough to know who's from over here and who ain't from over here. You know, when I look, around neighborhoods or my neighborhood, it's not too many motherfuckers outside. Be nice outside, motherfuckers ain't outside. Motherfuckers ain't nowhere to be seen. I ain't even seeing kids no more outside. Now that's why I know something's wrong. People like, oh, okay, about to go back to school. Nigga, he ain't even that. These kids still gonna be outside. But they ain't even going outside no much like that. That much like that. Don't nobody be outside. It be quiet than the motherfucker. Something's wrong. If you got a neighborhood and motherfuckers ain't outside, ain't doing no motherfuckers just in the house or they just ain't outside, period, something's wrong. Either motherfuckers ain't in tune or motherfuckers is not from over here. It's one of the two. And most motherfuckers ain't from over here. So that's why they don't bother to go outside. That's what it is. Right? The whole internet world and all that shit crashing down the motherfucker. Ain't none of that shit relevant anymore. All that shit is crashing down like a motherfucker. You just gotta pay attention to what's going on and what's taking place. A lot of information is being passed down to the organic beings to the land. And a lot of information is being passed down to the organic beings on the land because they doing their self work. And uh mama want us to tell motherfuckers what's going on and what's taking place and how this shit is over with. A lot of shit overseas is happening that a lot of people ain't even talking about. You got snow. I think it was snowing somewhere in Afghanistan, some shit like that. It was snowing like a motherfucker, a whole blizzard. Now it ain't even known for snowing over there, but there's some inorganic beings over there uh, that shouldn't be on the land. So you know that's why shit taking place like that, right? A lot of motherfuckers ain't even talking about that. I think I seen it was snowing in Africa, and I think it was Africa too. It was snowing somewhere in Africa. So a lot of things is taking place. A lot of shit going on right now. A lot of shit. So it's the time to be grounded, staying in tune with yourself, doing what you need to be doing, getting into your soul's mission, and, helping your people, helping your community, teaching your kids and these babies and all that, getting these babies in tune with each other, you know, allowing your kids to play with other kids and not always thinking something negative gonna happen to your kid because they outside and shit. Let your babies get in tune with the other kids around the neighborhood. That's what you do. Because if your kids don't know who they people is, how you gonna know who your people is? Because if you let your kid find out who they people is, they can tell you who our people is. If you don't let them go out and be around people, they ain't gonna be able to figure that out. You know, that's what it is. Um, this is also, what's going on in the world. This is also a cause for a time of healing, right? A lot of people right now need to be healing themselves and getting rid of all this trauma, from family members, um, anything they may have, went through and all that shit. You need to be healing. Healing is the best thing to do right now because if you're not healing yourself, you ain't gonna be able to receive information. Information enters the body through your heart chakra being open. You have to open your heart chakra because once you open your heart chakra, energy, radiation, you know, uh, radiation and energy, like from the sun, it can enter through your body. But your heart have to be open for that energy to enter through your body. If your heart ain't open, then that energy ain't gonna hit your body. It's not gonna be able to come into your body because your heart chakra closed. Your heart chakra is the most important chakra that you have. So you have to make sure that's open and you have to keep it balanced. Once you open your heart chakra, you get rid of all that trauma, all that anger, all that fear, all that guilt that you once had. You won't get rid of all that shit because your heart is open. You was able to let all that shit go and let it be a past rather than let it be present. So you gotta heal yourself at this point in time because, like I said, it's not a lot of new energy entering the planet. A lot of shit is shifting gears. A lot of negative energy is being uh, transmuted into positive energy. And like I said, a lot of people uh can't really take this energy because a lot of them ain't organic to the land. So a lot of motherfuckers is dying off from this shit because this shit's too powerful and it's too loving. They can't handle it. Niggas don't know how to love. So it is what it is. Mm. It's real. I'm about to go ahead and get off here. your kids, hear them, and understand what they're telling you. Don't even know what they're saying. Um, Once again, light and peace, positive energy. On to the lovely, sexy, beautiful goddesses out here. Peace, love, and light to y'all. Peace to the gods. Uh, Peace to Mama, Big Mama, the ancestors, the planet. Peace to the cosmos. I got another probably lesson I'm gonna probably be dropping probably tomorrow or when I can. I'm gonna be talking about the God energy and talking more on the God energy and how to access the God energy. Um, so I'm gonna be talking on that. So stay tuned for all that. Um, and I'm also be keep more updates on the young cats. What I'm doing with that. So yeah, with that being said, y'all be safe out there. Peace to the young cats from one conscious mind to another. We all got each other. I'll sure.